It's going to be good today. Don't move it.
There.
Don't touch it. Now look, you've ruined it.
No, it's perfect. Except for my hat head. I've been working on the farm all day wearing my farmer's hat, and you can see some evidence of that. But that's
it looks the same as it always does.
I don't know. It looks pretty rough.
No, that's fine. Welcome back to another edition of Will This Internet Be Good or Not? Let's hang out, answer some questions.
Hey, it's Monday Night Live. Let's get pumped up. You know you got that one friend who always forgets to catch us live. Now's the chance. Send them a text message, an email, say, hey, they're live right now. Go in, ask your question. Now's the time.
Now.
This is it.
Right now.
We will answer your question. We're going to answer as many as we can in the next hour and change. I'm excited. Are you excited?
So excited. As always, we can't answer every single question. That would be impossible, but we will try to answer as many as we can, as efficiently as we can, in a timely manner.
Yes, keep your questions short and succinct, but obviously poignant.
All right. I saw a good one go by, but I can't remember the name. Is dextrose bad?
Dextrose is exactly the same thing as glucose. Basically, people in the UK call it dextrose. We call it glucose. It is sugar. It is pure sugar. Yeah. And a lot of times food manufacturers will use that fact that you didn't know that to trick you. They'll put dextrose instead of sugar, and then you think, oh, it's only dextrose. That's a big deal. I don't know what that is. That's why anytime you see a word on a label, you don't know what it is, you either Google it or you ask Neisha loves it, hashtag, and me.
Somebody asked, is it true carbs are not a necessary nutrient?
Yeah, the Institute of Medicine, who actually come up with the recommended daily intake and all that stuff, they say this in their position paper, that there's apparently no lower level of carbohydrate intake that's not safe. You can eat 0 carbs a day, today, and for many, many days, and you'll suffer no ill effects whatsoever. Carbs are an optional macronutrient.
455. Can a keto carnivore diet help heal skin damage from years of sun damage?
It might help your skin rebuild. You may not know that every 3 months you actually build a completely new set of skin cells. So the skin you had today is not the same cells you had 3 months ago. And so if you're building your new skin cells out of healthy proteins and fats, then you're going to be building better quality skin to start with. Secondly, if you implement some intermittent fasting in with your very low carb diet, then your body's going to be much more likely through a process of autophagy to grab an old, injured, crippled, limping cell and replace it with a new, vibrant, healthy cell. So the answer is most probably yes.
Hey, Holly.
Hey, Holly.
Shout out to S. Pearson, who says they're a new patron.
Oh, thank you so much for your support.
My wife and I are down 175 pounds combined. Well done.
Boom.
How important are electrolytes after 6 months of doing keto?
Well, if you've been using electrolytes up to this point, you've probably repleted a lot of your electrolytes, and you were probably low in them to start with. But electrolytes are a daily need in all mammals, including human beings. You need to make sure you're getting enough of the electrolytes and indeed all of the minerals. The modern soils that we grow our food in and that our food eats the grass off of is depleted in a lot of nutrition because of monocropping and improper pasturing of animals for decades and decades, well, 2 centuries actually. And so you might have to use a mineral supplement like Keto Chow's Daily Minerals and an electrolyte. But now the mineral drops have electrolytes in them, but you can, or if you just opt to use just electrolytes, that's fine too. Just make sure you mind your minerals.
Moxie says, Dr. Berry, I heard you say that triglycerides will be elevated if you fast 12 hours before a blood test. What length of time before a blood test should I break my fast in order to prevent that? Yeah,
so you want to get fasting lab work checked after an 8 to 12 hour fast. And now, if you fast longer than 12 hours, this doesn't happen to everybody, but some people's triglycerides will start to go up because you're getting deeper and deeper into ketosis, and you're having to move fats around in order to make ketones or ketone bodies, which is what you burn when you're in ketosis for energy. And some people will start to elevate their triglycerides falsely because of fasting longer than 12 hours. So 8 to 12 hours is a perfect window to fast before you have lab work checked.
John says, does a high sensitive CRP go up from eating too much meat?
No, we've seen hundreds of examples in ourself and in many other people who eat only meat of having a very low normal CRP, and people who had a documented high CRP when they start a meat heavy keto diet or a carnivore diet, their CRP returns to normal. Meat is not inflammatory. I just tweeted a minute ago, meat is full of antioxidants and zoonutrients, which are the nutrients only found in animal products.
Hello, Keto with Rachel O'Brien. Thanks for the sticker.
Oh, thank you.
Jonathan says, hey, I've been doing intermittent fasting and diabetics going in the right direction, but my numbers spike in the afternoon. What are your suggestions?
Yeah, I would look very closely at the meal that you ate right before you had that blood sugar spike. There was probably some hidden carbs, some sneaky, creepy carbs in there that you weren't aware of. That's probably what's doing that.
Thanks, Andrea.
Hey, do you guys follow this beautiful woman on YouTube? She has her own channel, you know. It's Neisha Loves It. If you don't already follow her, you should probably do that.
Such a supportive husband. Thanks, Shannon. Let's see. I don't know how to pronounce it. Can carnivore and ketovore help with gastroparesis?
Maybe. So gastroparesis is a problem with the nerves that innervate your stomach, and nerves are notoriously slow to heal. Sometimes after years of diabetes, you can develop gastroparesis. You can get it from other causes as well, but that's a very slow heal. It's almost like a spinal cord injury. If it's going to heal, it's going to take a long damn time. You're still going to be deriving hundreds of other health benefits from your keto or carnivore diet. So I would 100% recommend it. Anybody with gastroparesis can and should eat a very, very low carbohydrate diet. You may notice some improvement. If anybody's noticed improvement of their gastroparesis, put it in the comments. But I can't guarantee you.
I'm sorry. There's a lot of pollen in Tennessee right now. That was from Maria. All right, Gina says, my son's dad has lymphoma. Any dietary recommendations for him to fight it? He eats the SAD diet currently. He thinks it's from all the shots that he had in Iraq for his deployment.
The shots may have played a role, but his SAD diet, without doubt, played a role. There may have also been a genetic component. There may have also just been a roll of the dice, unlucky component as well. But he definitely needs to be eating a very, very almost sugar-free, low carbohydrate diet. Whether that's keto or carnivore, he gets to choose. But sugar, it is without doubt that cancers love sugar. We know this. That's why when we do a PET scan, we attach the molecule to sugar so that the cancer cells will take it up. That's how we find cancer in your body, is by baiting the cancer cells with sugar, not with meat. So sugar-free, as low carb as possible.
Hector says, how effective is keto or carnivore for ankylosing spondylitis?
Oh, ankylosing spondylitis. So this is an autoimmune inflammatory condition. You may already have some permanent damage. If that's the case, that's going to take longer to heal and get better. But definitely by eating the most uninflammatory diet on the planet, which is keto or carnivore, you're going to slow down the progression, if not stop it completely. And this goes for all the autoimmune conditions, whether they're of the joint, the gut, or anything else. You are going to have much fewer flare-ups and less severe flare-ups by eating the proper human diet. 100% recommend it for you.
He also wants to know, is it safe to take digestive enzymes and
Sure.
those type of things while long-term water fasting for 5 days plus?
Yeah, if you want to. I don't think it's going to harm anything. It's probably not necessary. But if you want to, I think it's okay.
All right. Tina. Hi, guys. Will high blood pressure medications and high cholesterol medications keep you from going into ketosis via urine strip testing?
First of all, urine strip testing of ketones is not that accurate. I would recommend you get a blood ketone tester as soon as you can afford it. Secondly, yeah, some of the blood pressure medicines and some of the cholesterol medicines will absolutely raise your blood sugar. And when that happens, that's going to lower how deep you're able to get into ketosis. Yes. Not all of them, but some of them.
April says, I'm ketovore and I'm craving shrimp and oysters. Would an iodine deficiency cause headaches because I have them really bad right now?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. If anytime you're craving meat like that, you need to satisfy that craving. Humans, we don't crave meat just for no reason like you might crave birthday cake because that's an addiction. We crave meat because we need it. And so if you're having these thoughts and you're craving those foods, 100% it's time for a trip to the supermarket or to the ocean, either way, and get some oysters and shrimp.
Thomas, can keto help with asthma?
Oh my goodness, I think I have a YouTube video about this. Asthma there's a little bit of genetics with asthma, a lot of autoimmunity, and a lot of inflammation. How many people have been able to come off of their asthma meds because of going on to a keto or a carnivore diet? Put it in the comments, guys. I want people to see this. Asthma is one of the things that responds almost magically to keto. When you get rid of the sugar and the grains and the seed oils and the processed crap, the asthma, I'm not saying you're going to be cured, but your symptoms are going to get so much less severe that very often people forget where they left their inhaler because they don't need it anymore.
Fonzarelli.
Fonzarelli.
My doctor said that I need to stay away from red meat because of my cholesterol being too high.
Yeah, that's dumb advice. 15 years ago, I would have given you that same advice. Your doctor is afraid that eating fat and cholesterol will raise your cholesterol level. Your doctor also believes that having a slightly elevated cholesterol level is dangerous, that it might increase your risk of a heart attack and a stroke. With all due respect, your doctor's about 20 years behind on his or her reading. I suggest that you respectfully suggest to them to catch up on their reading and maybe check out some of my YouTube videos.
Kat says, I'm using a CGM for 2 weeks. My day numbers have been consistently in 80s to the 90s, but my overnight numbers are 110 to 120s. I've been keto for over a year. Is this normal for the healing process for my numbers to be like this?
Yeah, that's nothing to worry about. Some people do that, some people don't. Some people will notice that their highest blood sugar reading is first thing in the morning after they wake up. Some people will notice it's during the night. As long as your A1C and your C-Peptide are getting better or are normal, it's nothing to worry about.
Brothers, some are starting keto carnivore already with a potassium deficit. How do you know how to correct it? What if you're a potassium leaker, or what about potassium chloride? Is this easier on the kidneys?
So yeah, most people who come to keto or carnivore are deficient in magnesium and potassium. Now, if you check their blood work, it'll look like it's normal, but their tissues, not the blood, but the tissues are very depleted. So that's why Neisha and I blanket statement say, if you've got normal kidney function, you just need to get an electrolyte supplement like Redmond's ReLyte. They have an unflavored and then like 5 different flavors.
They have some new ones. They have pina colada and watermelon lime are the 2 new ones, and then berry and lemon lime.
I think there's a link down in the show notes. Or you can get Keto Chow's Daily Mineral Drops. It's a liquid that's very salty now. Don't expect it to taste like peanut butter or cotton candy because it's just minerals in water, okay? But it also has potassium and magnesium along with all the other minerals you need. Links down there too. But that's why we just blanket statement recommend that, because if you have normal kidney function and you accidentally get too much potassium one day, what's going to happen?
What?
You're going to pee it out.
Pee it out. I was reading comments. Don't do that to me.
Sorry, I didn't know you were reading. Yeah, you're just going to urinate the excess potassium away. That's how your kidneys function. Anytime you've got too much of something in your blood, you pee it out. That's what happens. Sorry.
It's okay.
It's okay. What television series is that from? Maybe Netflix. I can't remember.
It's Netflix, yeah. Flower Bomb says, is it true that if you eat too much fat, you will not lose weight because your body will use that instead of the stored fat? And is that true for carnivore as well?
Yeah, that you hear that some out in the keto community, and that's just not the way human physiology works. If somebody says that, they're basically revealing their lack of understanding of human physiology. You only have three macronutrients that you can eat. You've got protein, you got fat, and you got carbohydrates. And so if you're eating super low carbohydrate and then you're like, oh, I also got to back up on my fat, that means you're going to be left eating a pure protein diet, which is not very tasty for most people. It's pretty bland and it's hard to get what you need. There are essential fatty acids that are found only in fat that you can't make. And there are many other fatty acids that, even though you can make them, you can't make them fast enough to keep your levels up. You need animal fat in your diet. So if you want to eat a high protein, moderate fat, very, very low carb diet, I'm happy with that. Do that. But I do best on a high fat, moderate protein, very, very low carbohydrate diet. But that's always something you can experiment with. But eating less fat is not going to help you lose fat. It just doesn't work that way.
Shane says, I'm keto carnivore, staying under 20 total grams of carbs a day. I'm 50 pounds overweight, obese. Should I be in a caloric deficit?
Yeah, calories don't matter when you're eating enough fat and protein. Your body's going to take care of the rest. Just like you don't have to count how many times you breathe a minute, you don't have to count how many cc's of urine you make a day. Your body's got all that under control. If you're eating a bunch of crap processed food, your body cannot control what's going on in here. But if you're eating real human food, lots of fatty meat, a little bit of veg if you want it, your body's going to take care of all that stuff for you. If you stay stalled at that weight with 20 total grams a day for another month, then you might consider going to 10 grams or get as close to 0 grams as you can a day, like a carnivore diet.
Okay, let's see. Life with horses. That must be fun. Can you explain what Ketovore is? What foods does this include? So we both have videos on our YouTube about what Ketovore is. That's what I eat. He eats carnivore. Ketovore is basically 90, you could go down to 80% of your diet is animal based. So protein from meat, cheese, butter, those type of things. And then also you select a few veg that your body can tolerate. For me, that's basically onions and garlic. And then also for a lot of people, they cut down on sweeteners or cut them out completely, and also cut down on dairy or cut down dairy completely. So it's just a cleaner subset of keto with much more meat and less treats and that sort of thing. So it's just something you kind of maybe gradually ease into if that's something you're looking for.
Most ketovores don't use the nut flours to make all the keto treats, and veg on their plate almost becomes a garnish. There may be some, but there's not much at all. It's mostly meat, 80-90% meat on your plate. Yeah.
It's mostly what I use is seasonings, but it's technically a vegetable. So if you're a purist carnivore, then that would not technically be carnivore. And so I just called it Ketovore, and people have been calling that before me, but now it's kind of like a thing now. More and more people are eating that way. It's a great way to eat more meat without feeling as restricted as you would on carnivore.
As you might feel on carnivore.
As you might feel. I'm so very sorry. Okay.
Oh, you've locked it up.
I know. Dr. Berry, vitamin B for schizophrenia. My wife won't go on keto, but she's paranoid of her food. She has delusions and it's really bad.
Yeah, if you could get her a methylated B complex that's got all the B vitamins in methylated form, that might help her as you continue to gently, lovingly encourage her to try different kinds of meat. And it doesn't just have to be a big old steak. It can be seafood, it can be poultry, any kind of meat that with the fatty cut with the skin on is going to help her long term. But in the meantime, that's an option.
All right. You're back in the background. Oh, this is hard. Over here it has service and over here it doesn't. All right. Cynthia says, what can I do if I can't tolerate the extreme saltiness in the ReLyte? I have real salt that I use daily on my food, and I take potassium and magnesium supplements.
Yeah, you can go that route if you don't like the taste of the ReLyte. They've got 5 or 6 flavors, but if you just don't like any of them, you can use new salt or what is it called? New salt, and there's another name for it.
New salt's the one that we used to use.
Yeah. But it's potassium. chloride instead of sodium chloride. But you can get your potassium like that, that's fine.
Gina says, my mom has tried keto and carnivore. She gets anxiety and has to stop. Any way she can do either of these and keep from getting anxiety? Any videos I can share with her?
Is she getting anxiety because she's afraid that the meat in the diet's going to kill her? Because definitely keto or carnivore is not going to cause general anxiety disorder or clinical anxiety panic attacks, but she may be so worried that the meat's going to kill her, then that may be giving her anxiety, in which case maybe let her watch some of my YouTube videos about meat and how it's a perfectly ancestral food. It's not bad for you in any way. Meat is full of antioxidants, it's full of vitamins and minerals. It is an ancestral food for humans. Maybe that would help if she heard it from a doctor on YouTube. I don't know.
Ariane says, I asked my cardiologist for an advanced lipid panel and a CAC. He added a lipoprotein test, which he said is a better marker for CVD. Is that true?
There's not nearly enough research behind that test yet to support what your cardiologist said. It's not a bad test, but it is in no way considered the gold standard for CVD. No.
Charles says, my vegan daughter is watching with us. Help me help her.
Hey, listen, I totally get it. I call it what do I call it? I call it my line of comfortableness with eating meat. There are certain meats that I won't eat, okay? I would not eat another human. That's a hard line for me. I would not eat another primate. I just wouldn't. Even if it was, I went to somebody's house, I would be that guest that said, no, thank you. I'll just have something else. I don't eat real true dolphins. I wouldn't. They're too smart. I would not eat, what else? I wouldn't eat a dog or a cat unless I was literally starving to death. That's my line in the sand. And I think we all have different lines. So if your problem is with mammals, they're warm-blooded, they have a mother-child relationship, they breastfeed, then don't eat mammals. That's fine. You can do a keto or carnivore diet and never eat a furry, cuddly mammal. You can do it with fish and with shellfish and crustaceans and eggs and real full-fat cheese. You don't have to eat mammals to do keto or carnivore right. So that's where I think we all have a different line of where we're comfortable eating. Would I eat a possum? Yes, I've done it before. Would I eat rattlesnake? Yes, I've done it before. What's the craziest thing you've eaten before?
It depends on
Alligator,
who you are, I guess.
Alligator.
Squirrel, a lot of people think
Squirrel
that's
and rabbit.
weird.
Yeah, I've eaten so many squirrels and rabbits because we used to hunt them when I was a kid. But you guys got to figure out, you got to understand, there are nutrients in animal-based foods you just cannot get from a vegan diet without taking a literal handful of supplements every single day for the rest of your life. And how natural and ancestrally appropriate is a diet that you have to take a handful of supplements that were made in a chemical factory with all kinds of emissions and pollution coming from that? How natural? How is that? And does that really help the planet? You see my point? And I respect you very much for actually thinking about your diet, because most people don't. But you got to understand, there are fatty acids, amino acids, vitamins, and minerals that you just cannot get from plants. Hope that helps.
Marisol says, what's the difference between Atkins and keto carnivore?
Not much. Atkins was typically a higher protein diet. It was high protein, moderate fat, very low carb. And then Atkins also believed that after a while, you could kind of start adding back in the carbs. And that he kind of shot his own diet in the foot when he did that, because when you start adding back in the carbs,
It's not Atkins anymore?
you start gaining weight. That's exactly right. And so the Atkins initial diet, that's pretty much keto. It was a higher protein, but yeah, that's what it was.
Danielle says, do you need to eat a variety of meats when doing carnivore, or can you just eat beef? I've heard that you need variety to help your gut.
That's a great question. Totally up for debate. And carnivores debate this very often and quite vigorously. Also, I agree with you. I think we should eat a variety of meats. I think we should eat organ meats. We should always be trying new animals that we've never tried before. Definitely, I think seafood is great to get things that you can't get as readily from land mammals. But there are carnivores who have only been eating eating the muscle meat of cows for 15 or 20 years. They look great. They're strong. They're healthy. They look 10 years younger than their age. So is it mandatory? Maybe not. We'll have to wait 100 years and see how we all turn out. But I agree with you currently. I think we should eat the rainbow of animals.
Quantum says 6 weeks carnivore. I'm down 25 pounds.
Yes.
Wow, that's awesome. I'm supplementing potassium and magnesium and drinking plenty of water, but I still have leg cramps 2 to 3 times a week.
Yeah, you probably just need more salt. That's a very common cause of leg cramps that doesn't get talked about enough. Also, if you've just started working out very vigorously and you weren't used to that before, you're going to get cramps for a few nights until your muscles recover and get used to that. But I would focus on making sure that you salt each meal to taste. So you may have an unconscious desire to limit salt because of all the training we all got, all the brainwashing, all the propaganda. And you may be subconsciously just not putting enough salt, but that should help. And make sure you're getting the mag and potassium, and then eat more salt.
You don't have a bottle of the mineral drops over here?
I do not.
Keto Chow has mineral drops. They have electrolyte drops too, but these are different. And when I first started working out, I had awful cramps. And one night I was like dragging my leg through the house to get to the kitchen, and I was going for the electrolytes, but accidentally picked up the minerals and just squirted a bunch in my mouth. I've never in my life had a spasm go away so quickly. Like immediately after I swallowed it, it went away. It was the most amazing thing ever.
And a deficit of other minerals can also increase your risk of leg cramps, but it's less common, and so it doesn't get talked about as much. But yeah, absolutely, any mineral deficiency can increase your risk of leg cramps. That's why I'm such a fan of Keto Chow's Daily Minerals.
Yep. Melissa, how do you feel about ketones, exogenous ketones? Will it help you burn more fat?
No. So being in ketosis is a physiological state. It's something your body does when you eat very, very, very low carbohydrate, right? Adding ketones, exogenous ketones into your diet is not going to help you with weight loss at all. It is going to help make your wallet lighter or your purse lighter, 100%, because they're expensive and it's a waste of money. Now, if you have a very young child with a neurological disorder that won't eat keto, that's a good opportunity to use exogenous ketones. If you have a very old relative who has dementia and refuses to give up their oatmeal and toast and orange juice for breakfast, then that's another place where I think it's okay to use exogenous ketones, because you don't want to fight with your poor grandmother about eating her bacon and eggs. Just let her have her oatmeal and orange juice, but put some exogenous ketones in there.
Brian, correct levels for D3, C-Peptide, and fasting insulin.
C-Peptide and fasting insulin are going to vary from lab to lab, but you want your vitamin D25 level to be somewhere between 50 and 100, okay? And there are many healthcare providers out there. If your vitamin D25 level gets up in the 80, 90 range, they'll freak out and tell you to stop taking that supplement because you're getting toxic. That's dumb. They're behind on the reading. They need to catch up, and then they won't be dumb anymore. But you want a vitamin D25 at least 50, and up to 100 is 100% healthy and fine and very good for you.
Jared, Carnivore here, thanks to you, doctor. I'm down to 180 from 250. Recently had blood work done, fairly normal, except for a mild thickening in my proximal loop of the small bowel. Possible enteritis. Any info or links on that?
Yeah, that you need to recheck that. That could be a transient thing. It could be something that you had before you started this diet that's slowly getting better, but it's not gone yet. But definitely follow up with your doctor and get that rechecked at a regular interval. They'll probably recommend how often they want to recheck that. But you're doing the exact right thing by eating a proper human diet. Somebody asked what we're drinking tonight.
Jill Steiner.
Jill Steiner. I love it.
Electrolyte. My son has Crohn's disease. Is it safe for him to be on carnivore long term? Also, should he take any supplements?
Yep. And so just like everybody else, patients with Crohn's disease do wonderful on a carnivore diet. A great lessening of the severity of the symptoms. So yes, I 100% recommend it. The daily minerals are going to give you the few minerals that the animals may be deficient in because it just wasn't in the soil where the grass grew that they were eating. Other than that, there's really nothing else. Monitor the vitamin D because sometimes you just can't get enough vitamin D unless you love certain types of salty, fatty seafood like sardines and anchovies. I've got a YouTube video about how to get your vitamin D
Do
if
we
you
have
want to.
any anchovies here?
Yes,
I
I've
would
got
like
you
some.
a can. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, absolutely. I found them and I was like, oh, Neisha will be wanting these. She loves anchovies. I like them okay, but
He likes sardines.
she freaking loves them.
Yeah.
Yeah, sardines with mustard. That's my jam.
Tracy, my daughter was just diagnosed with pre-Hashimoto's. Didn't know
Okay.
they were doing that. That's weird. Okay, no treatment though.
Yeah.
They referred her to a rheumatologist. She's very sleepy, moody, sickly, and has stomach issues.
Yeah.
Please help.
So she's already having symptoms and her TPO antibodies elevated. That's not
I
pre-Hashimoto's.
feel like there's no such thing as
Yeah,
pre-Hashimoto's.
that's if she's having symptoms of low thyroid and she has elevated antibodies, she has Hashimoto's. What your healthcare provider is going by is that her TSH and free T4 are still normal, but that is not the way you do Hashimoto's. If you have
Well, it's
elevated,
not the way you should.
that's right. That ain't the way you do it. Is what
Yeah.
I meant in the southern sense. If you have elevated antibodies and you have symptoms of hypothyroid, you have Hashimoto's, and you need to begin treatment.
And you need to start leaning her towards a lower carb
100%.
diet. That is the number one thing that helped me. I was on medications for a while, and but I noticed a huge difference when I stopped eating wheat, grain, sugar, all those type of things. My symptoms were insane,
Yeah.
and now they're not.
And we ate paleo for a couple of years,
Yeah,
and so
that
the
crap
only
didn't help me.
the only grain that we would eat is Ezekiel bread. So we were eating sprouted grains only for a couple of years. Did not help her one bit. But when she got rid of all grains and all the vegetable oils and all the sugar, it was almost overnight. It didn't take
It
me
was,
days
and
at
I
all.
wasn't even super clean keto. I still had cheat days frequently because I was working with nurses and we order pizza every now and then. But I still, even eating mostly low carb, saw a bunch of benefits. Yeah. Sarah, I have a fasting question. If I fast for more than 2 days, I have mouth and gum pain. The meal I break my fast with when I eat. What's up with that
Mouth and gum pain.
while she's eating?
That's very odd.
That is odd.
Maybe if you have any degree of gingivitis or periodontal gum disease during the 2 days of not chewing and eating food, you may have some settling of the teeth, and then when you do chew, you're kind of pushing them back in their sockets. Maybe. I'm not a dentist, but I've only heard this one other time. And I didn't have an answer for them either, but I don't know. But I would go see your dentist, or maybe reach out to a keto dentist online and describe those symptoms. That's very odd. Dr. Stephen Lin, Lin, is a low carb dentist. I think he's in Australia, but he might have an email listed on his YouTube or some of his other social media.
Triclops Gamer says, how do I get organs that aren't sold in the grocery store?
Why would you not want them sold in the grocery store? I'm guessing you
I think he means like they're not available.
Oh, gotcha. So, okay. So either you're just going to have to look around. I would check out the ethnic groceries. Very often an Asian grocery or Hispanic grocery, they will have all kinds of organs. Some
When we were
organs
in
that you've never seen before.
We loved going to the different markets because they had the best stuff.
Yes. Remember one time they had I forget, pig stomachs. And
intestines,
heart. Not that I wanted any
spleens.
intestine, but
I mean, they had pretty much every part.
yeah,
of
all the
you could ever
sweetbreads,
want.
everything. And then if you just can't find them anywhere, there's this company I really like, and you guys know I don't recommend many products, but Ancestral Supplements, they have a liver capsule, and 6 capsules a day is like eating 2 ounces of liver. Do I think it's exactly as good? No, I don't. But I think it's way the hell better than nothing until you can either learn to like eating liver and heart or until you can find some at the grocery.
There are plenty of people not eating organ meat and
Exactly
they're doing
right.
fine.
Exactly right. But if
Don't
you
feel
believe,
like you have to do that or you're not doing it right.
I agree. But if you believe as I do that we should eat organs that our ancestors always did, then that's an acceptable answer until you learn to like liver.
I feel like any vegan is going to have a hard time eating organs.
Oh, no, I get it.
So if they're like, if I have to eat organs, I'm out.
Yeah, you don't have to eat organs.
You know?
Neisha's right about that. There are people on keto and carnivore who've been doing it for 20 years, look amazing, and they never eat organs. So I don't think it's required, but I do think it might be optimal.
Yeah, I think that it's very nutritional and that
Yeah.
it's good for you, but it's, let's be serious. Not everybody's going to do that. All right, let's see. We got Nutrigen.
Hey.
Been carnivore 4 months. Only eat meat I cook to avoid the sugar. I've lost 40 pounds, but my ketone level is not down in my urine.
Yeah, first of all, urine strips to test for ketones are notoriously unreliable. Number one. Number two, if you're eating only meat, stop wasting money checking your ketones. You're going to be in ketosis the majority of the day, and you're also eating on the spectrum of a proper human diet. You don't have to check your ketones on carnivore. That's not necessary.
Elizabeth, I'm a recovering stage 4 breast cancer survivor, and in my hospital, the nutritionist told me that eating bacon will cause colon cancer. Can you address this?
Yeah, that's a complete and utter myth. That's one of the lies that healthcare providers tell their patients. And the nutritionist, is that who it was?
Yes.
Yeah, they meant well. They believe that with their heart of hearts. They go to bed every night and they believe that. They would fight to the death for that belief, but it's wrong. They're just wrong. There's not a single shred of research that proves a causation of eating bacon causes any cancer whatsoever, much less colon cancer. It's a myth. It's a lie. Enjoy your bacon.
Large picture says, pork ribs send me to the library.
Uh-huh.
Is this normal? Is it from too much fat?
Some people have that with pork, and it may be that you're just not used to eating as much fat as you've been eating. Some people, especially if they don't have a gallbladder, they have to slowly increase the amount of fat they're eating, or they will have to go to the library. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that. But then I've heard people say that pork alone makes them have to go to the library more often. It's funny, right?
I like it a
I
lot.
like that a lot, yeah. But see, it doesn't apply to me anymore because as a carnivore, I'm literally in and out of the bathroom in 3 minutes. I never have time to even look at my phone, much less read a book.
I was fixing to say, I can't really call it that. I don't read in there anymore.
Yeah, I used to.
I'm not in there long
Back in the
enough.
day when I was paleo and eating sad diet, I'd be in there an hour reading my book, waiting for something to happen. But now, I'm in and out, and it's wonderful. But it may be the pork, or you may have to just increase your fat intake a little slower than you have been.
I didn't know your hand was over here, and it was tickling me, and I thought it was another bug. I got stung on the 4-wheeler today, and so I'm a little jumpy.
Yeah, a ground bumblebee got her.
Oh, man.
Is it still?
No, it's much better.
gone.
It's like
Yeah.
I didn't even have a reaction to it.
No.
Isn't that crazy? It hurt, though.
Yeah, she whined about it for a minute.
Andrea says, keto for only 2 weeks, and I'm doing 16-8 fasting. I'm down 21 pounds. Way to go.
Yes.
But I worry that that's too much, or is this okay? I average 1,200 calories a day or more.
Yeah, and make sure you're eating more than 1,200 calories a day. Try to eat more than 1,200 calories because you need protein. You need fatty acids and,
Well, I
and
mean,
other
you
things.
don't know how big she is. If she's a tiny person like me,
If you're above 5 feet tall, eat more than 1,200 calories a day. Okay, please.
just saying.
But yeah, and it's a great question. Is losing weight this fast actually healthy for me? So if you were losing weight this fast by taking phentermine or one of the other prescription weight loss medicines, I would say, no, it's not. If you were losing this by starving yourself and trying to get by on 500 calories a day, like the protein sparing modified fast bullcrap, then I would say, no, that's not healthy. There's no way you're getting enough nutrition. But if you're eating 1,200 calories or more a day of lots of fatty meat and a little bit of veg, and your body's going to let you lose weight only in a healthy velocity. It's not going to let you lose weight if you're eating real food and eating until you're stuffed, comfortably stuffed. You're not going to lose weight in a dangerous manner.
Meaning doing that long term. Like if you ate that little calories for months, that would be super bad.
Yeah.
Susie, how much raw beef liver should one eat per day? Well, Susie, wow. Raw
Some-
liver, you're hardcore.
Raw beef liver. So somewhere between 0 grams a day and 2 or 3 ounces a day, however much you want. Eat raw liver until you have had enough. There's never been a documented case of somebody developing vitamin A toxicity or any other toxicity from eating the liver of farm animals. I've looked and looked. I can't even find a single case report of that ever happening. So don't eat daily raw polar bear liver. It might give you vitamin A toxicity. Raw pufferfish liver might give you a worse toxicity. It'll kill you.
Who has access to that?
Well, I'm just saying that's what's actually in the case reports is people died or got super sick from eating too much polar bear liver and puffer.
She's eating beef.
So yeah, beef liver. I was just trying to be funny. Okay?
Oh, you're hilarious.
But it's fine. Eat until your body says, "Yep, that's enough. I've had all I want today."
Anthony, I had fatty liver diagnosed last year. How soon would you follow up after eating keto to see changes on the sonogram and the labs?
3 months. Yeah, it'll probably be corrected before then, but your doctor will also be hesitant to reorder that stuff before 3 months goes by. They'll be afraid insurance won't pay for it. So just do keto for 3 months and then go back and let them diagnose you as cured of your fatty liver, which is what's going to happen. And congratulations in advance.
Shelly, thank you both for all you do. Been Ketovore now, 15 months. I've lost 110 pounds. Wow.
Oh, boom!
All my RA and fibromyalgia symptoms are gone.
This makes me so happy.
I'm off all of my meds. I'm 45 and feel 20 years younger.
I hope you're acting 22, honey. Please tell me you are.
Get feisty, Shelly.
Get feisty. Love it. And now I also hope, this is important, you literally have miraculously transformed your health, right? Both mental and physical. Please tell me that you're sharing this story everywhere you can find somebody to listen. Like if I were you, I would be walking up to morbidly obese people in the mall and show them a before picture and say, please let me help you. I can help you. Because you can. You are more knowledgeable right now with what you've learned than the average dietitian or or nutritionist. You know more. You know how to fix these things, and they don't. Please use what you've learned to help other people.
Mohammed says, could you check for us about German new medicine?
Okay.
What's German new medicine?
I don't know. Do they have a new medicine in Germany?
Amy, can carnivore or keto reverse lactose intolerance?
No. Human beings are lactose intolerant as adults for a reason, because we're not supposed to drink milk as adults. No mammal on the planet does it. And there's a reason that they don't do it, because it's not healthy. Milk is to help you grow and develop when you're a baby and a child, maybe up to 4, 5, 6 years of age. After that, over 2/3 of humans on the planet are lactose intolerant. That doesn't mean it's weird that you're lactose intolerant. It means that's normal. You are actually normal. The few of us whose genetics have developed the ability to tolerate lactose, that doesn't mean that it's good that we're drinking it. It just means we can tolerate it better. We express immunity or inflammation in other ways. When I drink milk, I start to get dandruff, my rosacea flares up, and I start to get a runny nose. Okay, I don't have lactose intolerant symptoms, but I do have these other symptoms, and that's my body's way of saying, hey, dummy, you're a grown man. You don't need to drink milk. Milk is for baby mammals.
Nolan says, strict carnivore for 6 months, newly diagnosed with Hashimoto's after a round of antibiotics. My antibody count is 63, and all other thyroid markers are low normal. How would you personally go about addressing this?
Yeah, if you're having moderate to severe symptoms, I would definitely begin you on treatment, because you have positive antibodies and you have symptoms. And I think that's the way most healthcare practitioners should approach this. Not all do, as we were talking about earlier. Somebody was diagnosed. You got anything to add to that?
Keep on, keep it on, doing carnivore.
Yes, 100%.
Steve says, Ketovore diet has cured a decades-long fight with my tinea vesicolor.
Tinea vesicolor, like Becky had. Yeah, like, the rash. Remember he had on his back?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He says, why did that happen?
Yeah, because so all funguses or fungi or fungi, they love sugar, and this is just one of the many funguses that can get on your skin. And when you're eating a high carb diet, you're just chock full of sugar, and the funguses love you. People notice that when they go keto or carnivore, their chronic athlete's foot they've had for years goes away. Their fungus toenails that they've had for years after they've been keto or carnivore for 6 months, it's like it's 90% better, or it went completely away. Tinea versicolor is just another kind of fungus, and once you're eating low carb enough, you don't taste good to the fungus anymore, so it goes away. Most of the time, tinea versicolor is in kids, and Beckett had a round of it a few months ago because he had just been exposed to it, and he had it for a few months, and it went completely away.
The pediatrician said it was, what did she say it was?
Well, I forgot.
Rosacea or eczema.
Eczema, yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
no, I don't think that it is. And
Yeah.
she was like, oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah, just a word to pediatric practitioners out there. If 90% of skin maladies receive the diagnosis of eczema from you, you need to get your dermatology book out, because
I even told her, I was like, well, I've been putting this, antifungal on it, and it's gotten a lot better. And she's like, it's eczema. And I was like, I'm pretty sure eczema doesn't.
I'm like,
get
it's
cured that
100% not eczema. No,
Antifungal
it doesn't
cream.
even resemble eczema. But okay, whatever. Don't argue.
She's pretty good for that.
Yeah, we like her, but that was that pediatric eczema thing. They just think every rash is eczema. I don't know why.
Charles wants to know, will keto or carnivore help with lupus?
Lupus is autoimmune, right? And so keto and carnivore, if done properly with real foods, are the most uninflammatory diet on the planet. So you're going to notice less severe flare-ups. You're going to notice a greatly slowed progression of the disease. And when you do have a flare-up, it's going to be much less severe. We've heard this from hundreds of people with lupus and other autoimmune conditions.
Telugu superfoods.
Oh.
Is a menstrual cup safe? Food Standards Authority advises pregnant women not to eat liver because too much vitamin A can harm the baby. Is that true?
Okay, you take the cup, I'll take the liver.
Cups are amazing. Get away from any feminine things that have fragrance and chemicals and any of that stuff.
Cups are made of silicone, right?
Most of them are, yes.
Don't get a plastic cup. That probably is not great, but if you can find one made of silicone.
Still better than a toxic tampon.
Probably. Tampons, man, they are so full of microplastics and who knows what.
It's awful.
There's no telling. Now,
and then,
every pregnant woman on the planet, without exception, should eat liver 2 or 3 times a week.
How much liver did I eat
while they're pregnant? A lot.
A lot.
And I did not ever say, oh, stop that. You're going to get vitamin A. No.
Well, he didn't make me either.
No, of course not.
I kind of wanted it.
Yeah. A lot of pregnant women crave liver when they've never wanted it in their life. There's a reason for that. Liver is the most nutrient-dense superfood on the planet. There is not a single documented case in the medical literature of a pregnant woman developing a vitamin A toxicity from eating too much of a farm-raised, right, a domesticated animal's liver. It has never happened unless the woman had a psychiatric disorder and was eating 4 pounds of liver a day. In that case, I'm not aware of. Liver is vital for a pregnant woman to eat for both her body and for her little baby's developing body.
Liver.
Eat your liver.
Chicken liver was my favorite.
100%. Yeah, you had it every day there for a while.
It was like I was on a binge, liver binge.
We were in Nashville and we had DoorDash, and I would hear the doorbell. I'm like, oh, chicken liver. Yeah, okay.
That was so nice. Good old days. Shane says, does vodka or whiskey turn into sugar or carbs? Does it have adverse effects on weight loss on keto carnivore?
No, yes. Okay, most of the liquors are not going to have, they're not going to convert into sugar, but alcohol's a toxin, my friend. And so if you're having an occasional 1 ounce serving here and there with a 0 carb mixer, it's probably not a big deal. But if you're having that every day, that's going to slow down your liver's ability to get you into ketosis. Yeah, 100%. It's going to slow down your weight loss. Drinking alcohol every day is not good for you. Even the red wine that's so heart healthy. You see I made the forever face. No, that's all dumb. Alcohol is a toxin, period. Do I have a drink every now and then? Yes, rarely, because I like it. But I don't try to trick myself that it's in any way healthy for any organ in my body. It's not. And it will slow down your weight loss.
All right. Knuckles.
Hey, Knuckles. Best hashtag of the night.
Handle.
Yeah, that's what I said.
You said hashtag. He's been keto and doing fasting 5-2. Does that mean 5 days?
Oh, he's doing a 5-2.
And
that's hardcore, baby.
For a long time, I've lost 147 pounds. Boom. I now weigh.
I'm going to tune up if you guys keep sharing these stories.
He used to weigh 417 pounds.
Dude, wow.
His glucose was 220 to now never being above 85. Reversed atherosclerosis.
Yep.
Atherosclerosis.
Yeah.
And I teach fasting and keto now.
Beautiful.
Well done.
Absolutely.
Way to go,
Teach the
Knuckles.
whole world how you healed yourself. That's exactly the way it should be done. Congratulations and good damn job.
Yeah.
Wow.
Primal Experiment says, I have a weight loss stall, being strict carnivore for months. Any tips?
Say that again. I was thinking about something. Hi, Granny Berry. I forgot to say hi.
Hey, Granny. Somebody asked about her earlier. She was watching.
She's
She
watching.
is. Hey, Bob.
Okay.
Hey, you too.
Hey, Dad.
Weight loss stall while strict carnivore for months. Any tips?
Yeah. So depending on your age, it may be time to get some hormones checked at your local bioidentical hormone optimization friendly doctor. Make sure that you go back and look at any sauces, rubs, condiments, seasonings, and make sure that they're truly zero carb. And that's the two most common things. And then finally, weight loss pauses can last for months. It depends on how metabolically unwell you were before. It depends on how quickly you're healing. Many, many things factor into this equation.
Sleep, stress.
All that. And so some people, we know one lady who's hardcore keto. She stalled or paused for a year, a solid year. She was still getting all kinds of other benefits from the diet, so she stuck to it, but she did not lose any weight for 1 year. Keep in mind, she's in her 50s and she also didn't gain any weight, which is a big victory for a 50-year-old woman. But that happens to some of us. It doesn't mean you're not getting any benefits. It just means you're not getting that one benefit that you really want.
How many ounces of meat per meal should we eat? I'm 190 pounds and I'm 5'3". My goal is to be 150. Beautiful.
So when you eat meat, you can throw all of the scales in the garbage. You can throw all the measures in the garbage. You get to eat, and this is the technical way you know you've eaten enough meat. How many ounces should you eat? Keep eating ounces of meat until you're comfortably stuffed. And you're like, whew, I'm done. I still love bacon and ribeye, but I could not eat another bite. That's when you're done. Okay, whether that's 8 ounces or whether that's like me, 32 ounces, or whether it's like Sean Baker, 48 ounces. Doesn't matter. We're all different. We're different sizes and shapes, and we have different metabolisms. You eat fatty meat until you are comfortably stuffed, then you stop. That's it.
All right.
Anytime any of you guys are thinking about measuring a food, unless you're making a recipe, but if you're like, ooh, I don't want to eat too much of this real proper human diet food, you can't. Your body won't let you. That's what your satiety, your fullness hormones, that's what they're for, is to tell you, hey, dummy, you've had enough. Stop eating. And they'll tell you when you've eaten enough real food. Becky, come say hi.
It's just going to take its time coming in here. Mohammed says that it's the new way of treating PLS.
I'll have to look into that, Mohammed. I don't know the details about that yet. Send me a link if you can find one. And I will check it out.
Courtney says, I've always had high uric acid levels. I've done carnivore twice and have been plagued with gout both times, around 45 days each time. Can I not do carnivore?
No, you totally can do carnivore. Anytime somebody with pre-existing gout starts keto or carnivore, they are at increased risk for having one more flare-up the first few months that they're doing this. We don't know exactly why that is, but every single person with gout after a few months of keto or carnivore, they just don't have gout attacks anymore at all. And you know those gout attacks you had in the past before you were keto definitely was not caused by eating keto because you weren't eating keto. You 100% can eat keto or carnivore, but you're going to have to just expect you might have that one flare-up after you start the diet. But then for virtually everybody, that's it. You won't have any more. Ah, there's that baby.
Hello.
Say hi.
Hello.
Yeah, that's your mama. Look, there's that baby right there. See him? See that baby? You want to get in my drawer? I know you do. He loves getting in my drawer with all my pens. What do you want to see first? Let's see what we got. I think I got something new in here. Oh, here's your favorite clicker. You want that? How to make sure it's off. You want that? Oh, you don't want that?
Okay. You want your salt rock? Nolan wants to know, can Hashimoto's be cured with iodine? When you say treatment, what do you mean?
No. So even people with Hashimoto's need iodine, 100%. Every cell in your body needs iodine. You may actually, if your symptoms are moderate to severe, you may actually have to take a thyroid replacement hormone as you convert to a real whole food, one ingredient, keto or carnivore diet. That's salty. Have you guys all got your salt rock? Redmond's has them. I've got one in my desk drawer. You got one in your purse. I forgot what I was saying. I got hit in the head.
Iodine and Hashimoto.
Yeah. So, but even though you need iodine, that's not going to be the end all be all treatment for you. You may need a few months or a lifetime of thyroid hormone replacement.
Don't
You think
get
it's
it.
okay, just as long as it ain't too hard. I'm going to eat your salt. I'm going to get it. He loves his salt some days. Some days he won't touch it.
All right.
What else we got over there?
Hippie Big Shot says, my
Hey.
cooking situation's complicated. I live in a van. That's cool.
Okay.
I'm about to start carnivore. Is there any danger in eating raw red meat?
That's a great question. As long as the meat, you know it's fresh, and you've got this sensitive instrument you can use to detect if the meat is fresh. Do you know what it is? Your nose.
Beckett, what is it?
You smell that. What is that? Nose. Yeah, and if the meat smells bad, makes you cough like that, don't eat it. Okay, but if it smells fresh and it is fresh and it's not expired, it's 100% safe to eat raw meat. We do it regularly. Okay, it's not. We don't eat all raw, but we eat a lot of raw meat because it's not dangerous at all. Especially red meat that's a solid piece of meat. Now, if it's ground meat, that's a little dicey because there could be bacteria down in the ground up mush. But if it's a solid hunk of meat and it smells fresh and you know it's fresh, it's totally fine to eat it raw. Yeah, a lot of people do it. There's a YouTuber who eats nothing but raw meat. His YouTube handle looks like the word syringe, but I think it has the number 3 in it. Savage or something like that. But all he eats is raw meat, and sometimes it ain't that fresh. But he hasn't died yet.
My wife has IBS and she has been carnivore for 4 months with me. She's much better, but it's still there. Is this something that will take a long time to go away?
Yeah, and first of all, congratulations on giving carnivore a try. I would predict that it's going to continue to get slowly better over the months, number one. But number two, she may always have the underlying genetics to just have a touch of IBS. But on a carnivore diet, it's never going to be as severe as it used to be. It's just not going to be that way. So, so glad that you decided to try this crazy meat-only diet for your gut issue.
Esther says, how can I keep my arginine low when eating meat to prevent HSV flare-ups? Lymphoma survivor, 4 years now, maybe the reason.
Yeah,
carnivore recommended.
Yeah, 100%. Carnivore's fine for you. If you're eating a carnivore diet, you're not going to have to worry about the arginine levels. You don't have to worry about that. You just eat the proper human diet. Your body will take care of all the rest of that. It was a combination before of eating inflammatory crap, stuff that raised your insulin chronically and raised your blood sugar chronically that led to you having the flare-ups. It's not the arginine. That's one of those things they say. But I promise you, if you get arginine while eating a carnivore diet, you're not going to have flare-ups. Many people have reported that they just never have flare-ups anymore. Or maybe they have one a year, where used to they had one a month. That's what we hear from carnivores about that.
David says, I added organic chicken to my red meat carnivore rotation for variety, and within a week, my blood pressure and weight started to go up. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, I'm the same way. Now, not everybody is. Some people can eat poultry and do amazing, but if I eat too much chicken, I don't feel great, and I'll start to get a little bloaty. I don't know why that is. I also don't know if it's just because it's supermarket chicken that was raised, in the confinement feeding operation. Maybe when we get our chickens grown and we start harvesting them, that chicken may not affect me that way because our chickens are going to get no grain whatsoever. They're going to eat bugs and worms and grass. And that chicken may not bother me, but the grocery store chicken, if I eat it too often, I'll start to get bloated. Do you have that at all or no?
Not that I've noticed.
You haven't noticed it?
No.
Yeah. Some people do, some people don't.
All right. That's it.
Is that it already?
That's it. That's
This
the
has
hour.
been so much fun. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And thank you for the super chats and stickers. Thank you so much to our patrons on patreon.com. You guys are our keto family, and we love you and your support. It helps us do this live and so many other things. It's also helping us right now to get some damn internet in this house. I've got 4 options cooking right now trying to get better
We
internet.
have so many internet providers right now because we're trying to find something that works.
Yeah.
Fail.
So I'm sorry if our internet is not as good
I
as
think
it
you
used
did
to
okay
be.
tonight.
Yeah, for this, but we can't be live on YouTube and Facebook or it fouls up.
I like YouTube
So
better.
I do. I like YouTube a lot, but I'd like to be live everywhere that we can be because people need help, and that's what we're here for.
We'll see you next week, same place, same time.
Yes.
Right here.
Mark
every
your
Monday.
calendar and remind your mama we'll be back next week right here.
You're so witty.
Bye, Granny. Love you.
Bye, Granny B.
Hit the button.
You hit the
No, I'm not hitting it.
Well, I know. We're just going to
Fine.
talk some
We'll
more.
just sit here. We'll answer more questions. Give me a question. I'll go all night. I'm crazy.
Good night.